Good evening, everybody, and welcome to week 5 of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Winter Tournament. This week 5 matchup pits two and two runners, Thurwolf and Mr. Dunlow. Joining me this evening in the broadcast booth is our friend Alsoa. Good evening, Alsoa.
Quack, 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 quack. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to this one. Two really good runners. Thurwolf has been around a long time, arguably one of the best. Mr. Dunlow's been in this game a while. We'll get to see his turtle sprites, and we're off one screen left to vanilla start.
You know, honestly, vanilla start really is generally a pretty good area to start off in. Sure, it's a little bit far from the Armos, but you have a good density of open caves nearby.
Yeah, this happened, I think, maybe yesterday when I called a race. There was a recent tournament that started out on the home screen, and you see, so most of the time, most runners kind of route the same way. As we see level 5 on Thurwolf's side, gonna take a peek in here, I should say. Sees an immediate staircase.
Yeah,
But
rule of
first
5.
staircase. Yeah, there you go.
Roll of 5. Dunlow elected not to even dip into 5, just saw that it was there and then immediately said no. And, push-ups in the overworld.
And we've got a mugger gonna go do the smart move, go to Zombie Link.
Yep.
Will not lose a heart container.
It's free, mugger rooms, and is rewarded with needing combat.
Yeah, and takes a BMO's death, and Dunlow's heading up to Death Armos, so we'll get our first Armos check here momentarily.
Like Thurwolf is going to say, enough is enough. I'll come back later when I have literally anything that can kill stuff.
So in these flags, if you haven't been watching, the bomb upgrades are going to be in 5 and 7, or potentially in rare instances, both in 7. So you're in the tournament. Have you played any differently when you know the bomb upgrade is going to be in one of those 2 levels?
Really, it comes down to I'm more okay with finding 5 or 7 early, especially when either I don't have enough Triforces to get into 9 or don't quite know what the Triforce count to get in is. Of the 2, I generally prefer 5 because it's also more or less okay on keys. But I have found that it really hasn't affected what I do in the later stages of the game when I'm just trying to get into 9.
Yeah, I'm with you, and sometimes it depends if I've seen the bomb upgrade already, and if I'm going to work that back in. Maybe last week I had an any road that took me right next to 5, right? And the bomb upgrade was 2 rooms in, and finished Death Mountain out of bombs, had the money. So it is nice if you get it set like that, but nobody's going in 12, 15 rooms to find it that late in the game.
Oh yeah, especially if you've already found the Triforce in the item.
Yep.
And it's not like the bomb upgrades are the only things that you really want to spend money on. There are no extra candles, so you want to buy a candle. Keys, honestly, all throughout the tournament have usually been a very precious resource, so buying a key or 2, especially early in a seed, oftentimes ends up being very beneficial.
Yeah, we get a nice any road getting up to, well, we get 2 back-to-back, unfortunately, but you do get up to what we referenced earlier. Most runners, you get a chance to get up to the northeast. You've got 3 Armos screens across 5 possible screens, and there it is. We've got an early any key, arguably one of the best items, not combat related, to be getting in one of these seeds. And you mentioned earlier key problems, and I think some of that too is a lot of runners with these flags are maybe abandoning certain rooms if they've already got the item, perhaps the floor item. But yeah, that'll speed things up for the runners for sure.
And something that I think also kind of helps is that the any key, like you were saying, is considered one of the best, is considered one of, not the best, non-combat item to get. And honestly, there are arguments that it is the best item to get at the Armos, period, regardless of combat versus non-combat.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. It you know, it depends how the seed's playing out, as Thurwolf is going to find that any key, but the beauty of not worrying is a nice thing. As we see both runners now, even with the any key, Dunlow is checking up the northeast, and probably going to see Thurwolf, well, dips back into the any road.
I don't think Thurwolf's seen all 4 any
Yeah, he
yet.
didn't see them all. That's right. That's right.
And we did see a bomb shop, and it looked like the bombs were 19, and also in the same shop as the wood arrows.
Yeah, so we have a bit of divergence here, as Thurwolf's going to continue around, probably checking out Vanilla 6 and working up to Grave Armos as Mr. Dunlow continues to hammer out the Northeast and now has moved over to the Lost Hills region, and we get a large of 64 rupees.
That's not what you want to see, because as much as the Nintendo 64 was a good console, even though, cartridges, 64 is not a good large secret, and your choices are an energy bar or a slice of pizza, and everyone knows pizza is fantastic.
Yeah, I never actually owned the Nintendo 64, but able to play it on other consoles later, especially the Zelda games from it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's our candle 80. That is a bit steep.
It's always a bad feeling when you get a Maxwell candle. It's even worse when you get a Maxwell candle and it's more than what the large secret gives you.
Yeah, and not easy to get back up there if that is by chance our rare shop, or perhaps the only shop that's not under a burn bush with the candle. The any roads can get you close, but we'll see how our runners route that in if ultimately that is the only one.
I think we're going to see an annoyed Mr. Dunlow if Dunlow gets there without picking up some more money, saying, really? A large secret isn't enough? As we find level 7.
There's 7, and not even going to take a peek.
Not without some weaponry.
Yeah, and I like this play especially, too, because you want to get down, get these open caves, see what's sitting on the coast before going into a level 7 with 0 offense.
Mm-hmm. Now, interestingly, we found levels 5 and 7. 7 minus 5 is 2, and there's 2 bomb upgrades in total in the seed, and they can roll anywhere from 2 to 6. 2 minus 6 is 4, which is also a multiple of 2, therefore I predict we will find level 2 next as Thorwolf picks up a sword.
Yeah, so Thorwolf now has some offense here, going to try for that first bomb drop. Octo, see if he is fortunate enough. Always got to be careful you don't accidentally get a red one that goes down to 1 hit.
Yep.
Doing the dance and rewarded.
The bomb pack in hand, as long as you're willing to take the time to force, you technically will never run out of bombs, and we have a wand on the coast. So, the wand on the coast is interesting, because, while it's in no way, shape, or form required, unlike the magical boomerang white sword item, the wand on the coast is something that oftentimes is heavily desired, both because of the hitbox and also because you can use it when you're bubbled.
Yeah, for sure. Can really speed things up, gives you instant white sword power. Unfortunately, cannot take out Wizrobes, and you can't do the recover a bomb off of a Dongo. Otherwise, you're pretty golden with that. Wand as Mr. Dunlow picks up his nunchucks.
Yep. And given that we have Wizrobes on the overworld, the wand would effectively be a replacement for the white sword for every dungeon enemy that isn't Ganon.
Yep.
Which does make it kind of nice. Now, I'm still Team Wizards belong in the dungeons, but that's another matter.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that as well. Typically, the early games, especially some of the newer runners, have had problems with that. It's, you're trying to avoid them on 3 hearts, and that could be a tall order if you're not used to the game, and whether or not you're maybe screen scrolling or not can sometimes be your savior. Dunlow doesn't know it yet, but does have the 81 rupees, which would allow him to get that candle heading that direction. So we may see him actually pick up that candle first. And Thorwolf only has 6 rupees, so.
And also with Dunlow seeing the arrows are expensive, maybe electing to hold off on buying the arrows until either a bow is found or you get a hint for you need to fire an arrow to locate basically anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. It doesn't seem like we get many Goma blocks, and then when you do, you get 3 of them in a seed. But yeah, be a little careful. 64 big secret. Money's going to be a little tight, and you may not need the wood arrows, so.
So this is going to be the opportunity to get the very rare seed where the bomb upgrade is less expensive than the candle. Oh dear.
Dunlow, one screen from the blue candle, takes a door repair as Thorwolf picks up a take any heart container.
And the door repair is 25.
Yeah, that hit hard. But it does find a level 2. We get another dungeon, and most certainly we'll be digging this.
You know, honestly, based off of...
And Thorwolf, gambling, that may be the most amount of rupees I've seen somebody gamble on, with 70 rupees and hits the large on the gambling game. So, and he does have knowledge of that blue candle and it appears to be heading that direction.
Honestly, I'd be beelining straight for it too. We're ladder blocked at level 2. That's interesting. Honestly, an item that would be probably more valuable than it sometimes gets credit for in this particular setup would be the red candle.
Yeah, big fan of the red candle as well. You know, Thorwolf already knows that can't be the white stored item. He found the boomerang, so again, gonna beeline it over to that blue candle shop. Hoping to not get door repaired.
Level 8 found for Dunlow. There would be a part of me that would be very tempted to not even bother looking at caves. Go ahead and buy the candle first, and then come back for these caves.
Yeah, I agree with that. You just don't want to get set backwards as Dunlow did. But we're gonna get maybe a high 5 here. We've got a bomb pack stuck in Astafos.
We take those.
Mm-hmm.
No high 5 quite yet. They went slightly different paths here in 8. So, at this point, given that it's early on and you know that the candle's expensive, you're probably hoping to see a red candle and maybe a recorder.
Definitely red candle again because of the price tag for sure. Especially on Dunlow's side. Thorwolf, you know, again, better shape money-wise, knows where it's at. Likely going to be beelining it there after poking around in this level 8. How much progress they're able to make in here. Map would always be helpful. And there you go.
There it is. So this looks kind of like a off-centered or lopsided trophy.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of seeing like one of the monsters from Ghostbusters with the 2 eyes there, kind of like a blobbish shape. But yeah, there's, as CD says, there's never a wrong answer. And Thorwolf gets a try, elects to leave. I don't blame him on this. Get that candle, start seeing what kind of progress you can make.
And there is the candle. This is the part where I mentioned I've never seen Ghostbusters.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but there are ghosts in it, so I don't think that's too much of a spoiler.
Do the ghosts get busted?
Oh, we've got a raft in level 2. Ladder block raft. You need a step ladder to go over small bodies of water to get the raft to go over the large bodies. Always love to see it.
See, at least in this case, you can't argue that you should be able to use the raft to cross the water. Dunlow finds Main Handler, electing to dig at least a little bit past the Triforce, but Main Handler currently
gets it.
Getting the
gets the 5er instead.
Yeah, and only a transport too, man.
So Thorwolf back around our start screen as Dunlow does pick up his Triforce, so we're all knotted up there. The only difference I'd say is Thorwolf knows that information in level 2. I don't believe that Dunlow killed that room, the Chevy room, so he doesn't know that raft is sitting in there.
Yeah, Dunlow did not clear that room. I don't think Dunlow had sword beams at the time. But Dunlow is going to go ahead and do West Death Mountain as Thorwolf finds another large secret.
Yeah, and I like this play. He doesn't have the money for the candle. Take the resources you have. See if you can get some progress up there as Thorwolf enters level 5. To go ahead and clear out the blue Lionels.
Going to use combat bombs, which I'm always a fan of, especially if you have enemies like this that are bomb droppers. You can sometimes end up doing really well for yourself if you just use a couple of combat bombs.
Yeah, and unfortunately kicked out the 5er on his force. It happens to all of us.
Yep, and so, especially when you don't realize you have a force in progress, so you just kind of kill the enemies and then suddenly get a 5er. It's like, oh, I gotta force that. The West Death Mountain not holding a ton so far. I think Dunlow would like to see 9 up here.
Oh,
hello.
And we've got a bait block.
Oh, please let that be a legit bait block. Dunlow does get into the cave. Oh!
But it's definitely blocking a room. We don't know if it's an important room, but it is blocking at least one room.
I think it's a legit bait block.
Yeah. Very good chance there based on his dungeon clearance coverage thus far.
So Dunlow out of money completely. Finds the magical sword, but is going to elect to retry to get the bomb back. You know, it's kind of interesting how much of a ripple effect Thorwolf's one gamble that won him 70 rupees is having right now.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the other thing that's going to happen here is Dunlow will be stuck with that mugger in level 5. And we'll have to give up a resource to progress, unlike Thorwolf, who was able to go Zombie Link.
Yeah, but I think the other request was keys. So with the any key in hand, that's kind of...
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was
that should
keys.
be a non-factor.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking bombs, but you're right. It was keys. So good call. That's why there's 2 of us here tonight. And we find level 1. So Thorwolf obviously going into level 1.
Level 1 with an any key is a beautiful thing to find, because then you don't have to worry about the fact that level 1 has a stupidly high key door ratio in vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Which gets preserved in the randomizer. And my favorite fact about level 1 in vanilla is it's got 6 keys and 6 locked doors.
And if you take 6 keys plus 6 locked doors, that's 12. And yeah, that's as far as I'm making it also. Sorry.
Well, level 12 is where the hook shot is.
I tried, and I didn't realize how hard it is to come up with something creative. Oh, and we get some dark nuts in there. We're likely going to leave that room to the very end, hoping that is not the floor item, or try.
Well, that key
Useless
doesn't help
key.
things. Let's see. Oh, man. Would like to be able to get the hint there, but all the locked doors in level 1 makes the any key that much better.
Yeah.
Now, that room I might would have attempted just because it has the possibility of being both a drop and a stair.
Yeah, and that'll be the first one he's going to do, right? You take that one, less enemies, exactly right. Could be push block, could be drop. But big fan of, well, going to go down now. And going to clear it out. So, elected not to do those top 2 rooms yet.
Might have wanted to have sword beams. Dunlow's now back in level 5, gonna find the same news about the incredibly likely bait block, but also doesn't have any bombs to figure out otherwise.
And there is that mugger, and yes, gave up the key, which means nothing.
Turns out infinity minus in 3 is still infinity.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been able to tell if these dark nuts rolled a particular way. It doesn't feel like they've rolled down much, if at all.
Okay. Could not be a heart. And it's the ladder.
That's a big find.
Absolutely. Has the advanced combat over on the coast, likely going to want to work that in. Still one more item. It's going to be a floor item here left in one. Could still be that Dark Nut room. Could even elect to come back and do that room with the wand in hand to speed it up. But we'll see if he's able to find the other item in these last two rooms. Or actually, there's... Yeah, 2 rooms up top. He was up here before, I believe.
2 rooms plus the one room in the nubbin.
Yeah, the 3, I guess.
Well, this is a drop room in 1. So this is a good sign. And these are bomb droppers, so you definitely want to clear this over blue dark nuts. Ooh, and they rolled down.
Yep, there was the 5er again, too. And PB, so good job. Does not have to do that trolley room. And should be getting out here quickly with the Triforce and Power Bracelet and Ladder. Excellent dig of 1. See when Dunlow's able to find his way down here. This is one you want to get done for sure.
Yep. And actually, looking at the fact that this one is at the 8 cap, we might just see a world wrap over to the ladder. Or not.
Yeah, and the other issue that we've been talking about a lot is Dunlow still doesn't even have the candle to access level 1.
Right. Level 3. Man.
And the other thing, too, obviously, is that ladder will get Thurwolf full access, we believe, to level 2, providing there's not a Dig Dogger block or a Goma block. It will allow him to get that raft. So probably already thinking routing-wise how he's going to want to incorporate that strategy, knowing you're going to end up with another item as soon as you head up to 2.
Now, honestly, if we see a bow for Thurwolf along any of his routing, we're probably not going to see any more items until we get to 9, barring potentially a book. Because the thing is, we don't know how many Triforces we need to get into 9 yet. It could be just 5 and you just go.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of runners. Once you've found, 5 or 6 dungeons, they're clearing the small ones, but they do go and try to get rid of the overworld open spots because you just don't know what's necessary, and you spend an extra 5 minutes on the overworld to get potentially that level 9 knowledge. It's going to go a lot further than digging out a 6 that's not required.
Absolutely. Looks like we do have a segmented level 3. Not really surprising based on the way the dungeon was routing Thurwolf around.
Dunlow up to 48 keys. Still not there yet for that candle purchase. Thurwolf's using the like shield strategy.
Good old-fashioned pancake armor. Dunlow will pick up the magic boomerang.
It's somewhere Fury SK is just got a little excited.
He felt the force being happy. Thurwolf's going to like to up A instead of risk taking a death in that room, as dying is slow. Doesn't matter if it's you or the enemies. I might be tempted to come back with a wand based on just the combat.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. As good as a runner Thurwolf is, you put that wand in your hand, you're going to get through here a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only a couple screens away if he does the world wrap. Your start screen is only a couple screens from this, so you could be back in action here rather quickly. But I like them to continue. We'll see how this works. Just got to be careful. I mean, the Lionels, as long as you're able to half-tile them, they're not too terrible. But the BMOs and the bubbles tend to come into play more.
Yeah, I would argue the BMOs are the biggest threat in that room, actually. Then you gotta re-clear this room because the Vires do not die. That's probably the other thing that's slowing Thurwolf down a little bit in this 3 is just having to re-clear these rooms. Because the Vires being beefy.
Yeah, the Vires are causing the problems here because it is bubbles, which are the primary enemy anytime there are bubbles in a room. Unfortunately, though, with the Vires splitting, gonna keep getting stuck clearing some enemies. As
You know,
Mr.
I have
Dunlop
a-
take the death.
You know, I have a question about this now that I'm seeing the Lionels on Dunlow's side. Why are the Lionels throwing the nunchucks?
You know, I don't get to see Dunlow that much. Doesn't play, as many pickup races as he used to, and I have not caught any of his matches. So, but yeah, obviously they're you update the one sprite, I guess, and it follows for the Lionels.
Yep.
And
Dunlow
there's level 9.
How many Triforces do we need tonight? The answer is 5.
Ooh, okay.
And Dunlow is going to set up a Bomb Force.
And here's another one of those rooms, obviously, with all the pancakes.
Yep. But this one you do kind of have to clear.
Yeah, for sure. Potential push block, not a drop, but potential push block.
What's interesting is with the information Thorwolf has now, if Thorwolf finds level 9, all he's got to do is just clear out the dungeons that he knows of, and assuming Bo is in one of them, can just go to 9.
Yeah, I think if you're Thorwolf, obviously the bow, that's universal, but the book as well, if you're able, because he's got all the money right now, too. And unfortunately, we'll see if he's going to elect to do it a third time. He is going in a third time.
That's a terrible spot for that to be. Okay, it looks like the blue Lionel is the primary spawn, so once Thorwolf gets through this another time, this room will not need to be re-cleared unless Thorwolf leaves the level.
Dunlow now up to 88 rupees, heading right to that candle, and hoping he heads to the Dead Woods and gets that cleared out, because we see a treasure trove of dungeons down here, small dungeons. Realizes can't go into 2.
Probably just using it to get some health back.
Yeah, yep.
So, what will be interesting to see is if Dunlow elects to immediately after 1 go get the wand, even though that would skip 3, that may lead to an overall faster 3 when Dunlow goes into it. They're spending the last bomb to get into this lower portion of level 3.
Yeah, clearing this room, hoping for a potential, it's the key instead. Yeah, I notice key drops a lot more when you have the any key, and it's like, oh my gosh, this seed must have been really key rich, and it probably no different than any others, but there are the silver arrows.
And now we'll definitely see Thorwolf head to 9 as soon as he's got 5 Triforces in the bow.
For sure. The bow cannot be in level 9 in these seats.
Yep.
In these flags, I should say. I'm going to walk around here because the Triforce is in a horizontal shoot.
You know, the boomerang that Mr. Dunlow has might actually be important. Because depending on how these gels spawn... Oh, wait, nope, never mind. You can just pick it up.
Easy enough. Yeah, or you have to wait for them. I hear you. It's usually just a pain waiting for them to cooperate.
Yeah. Whereas if you have a boomerang, you can at least make an attempt at killing them immediately. Thorwolf's still not going to head back for the wand.
I think he's going to elect to do Candle Row here. Going to potentially get bombed. Trying for a bomb.
Yep, bombs.
And another 5er, and you get the 16 count fairy mixed in as well. Actually, not doing Candle Row. Going to go ahead and take the transport.
Oh, you know what this could be? Take the transport over instead of the world ramp, because the transport is a little more consistent, and you can stop into some of the other spots on the way because you have a candle, so you can do the forest.
Yeah, and see what he decides with this level 7. Yeah, likes to... I think he was in there the exact same amount of time Dunlow was in there.
Yeah.
Screen barely loaded.
Probably wants info of what 9 is before digging it, especially with silvers in hand.
Yeah.
If you can eliminate your need to dig a large dungeon, Dunlow's going to elect to pick up a potion here instead of a heart container. That indicates that Magical Sword is not necessarily at the forefront of what Dunlow is looking for. That does not mean Dunlow won't pick it up at some point, as we find level 4 here in the desert.
You know, and chat brought up a really good point. I don't think Thorwolf has seen the wand on the coast. Dunlow did. But that could explain why he wasn't world wrapping to go grab that wand with that enemy set. No, if he goes in the open cave over here, that'll confirm it for sure. Because, so excellent point. Chat is great. They keep us squared away. They see things that we don't. And, well, I'm going to go ahead and grab this first.
Yeah. Oh! Gets beamed before getting to that cave, and that might delay Thorwolf from getting to 9 because 9 is on the coast.
Yeah, and on Dunlow's side, we get a level 4. And for his sake, be really, really helpful if he finds a bow in here, followed by potentially a book for knowledge of where the bow might be.
I would actually argue it might be better for Dunlow to find a red ring, and the reason I say that is if Dunlow finds a red ring in here, that'll not only give Dunlow even more combat prowess going into 3, but also Thorwolf is likely to dig 4 if Thorwolf sees 4. If you're Dunlow may be wanting the bow to be somewhere that Thorwolf isn't likely to dig early to try to get that bow a little bit sooner.
Right. And Thorwolf gets the news that we know and that Mr. Dunlow knows. 5 tries, so 2 tries and a bow short.
Yep. And 8 will be dug exactly never unless the bow is in there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see an 8 potentially before that 7, because typically if you do the math, 2 items, first 1, and if you do the ratio of rooms. The other thing is, I've seen some really small 7s lately, so, the whole never 7 argument, you see a 7 that's small like a 5 or a 4, and there you go, and there's the book on the floor in 4, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's ladder blocked. There is one additional argument for 7, and that is that given that Thorwolf has tapped money, 7 does have the potential of just having a bomb upgrade in it that Thorwolf could pick up on the way.
Right. Guaranteed to have 1, could potentially have 2. So see what he elects to do here, and is going into 7.
The other thing you probably got to think about if you're Thorwolf is, I have 5 dungeons found. If I get a bow out of 7...
I'm running to 2.
Yeah, you're going right to 2. You're basically not buying the meat until you know you got to dig 5. And really, the only dungeon that we haven't seen across either runner right now, and we have a pretty good shot at never seeing is 6.
6, yeah.
And I think both runners would be perfectly content to never have to see 6.
Yeah, agreed with that for sure. And it could be overworld blocked, could be raft blocked, we just don't know yet. As Dunlow's going to take the staircase in level 4 and gets another heart container or slice of pizza.
Thorwolf has found the Triforce in 7. Does Thorwolf dig this, or does he say, I'm going to go to 4 first? Says I'm going to go to 4 and 5 first.
Did Thorwolf see 4?
No.
Okay.
But Thorwolf may be saying, you know what, I'm just going to go buy meat and go dig 5, because the thing about 2 is it's an easy Triforce to get, but that's only if you don't have to dig another level for the bow.
And buys the meat, So is going to likely, we're going to see him go right into this 5 at this point. He
Yep.
knows the item in 2. Well, you'd love to be able to just grab 2's try and go. He knows he doesn't necessarily need, at this time, the raft, unless it's blocking 6 with the bow.
Right. But you're going to check everything else first, and you might honestly even check 8 before you go look for a raft blocked 6.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the odds of Thorwolf going back to 2 are entirely connected to the odds of a required raft. Then Dunlow really just needs to get to the Deadwoods, because that's where 2 levels that
Yep.
Dunlow needs are.
Yeah, he's got a couple more bushes to burn here. And to answer a question in chat, yeah, the book is in 4 on the floor, and Dunlow knows it, and it's ladder blocked. Thorwolf has not found 4, so he does not know that information yet.
And honestly, Thorwolf may never see 4.
There's the map. You know, this map of 5, I thought this dungeon was playing a lot larger than it was with the meat block and the transport, but it's a tiny 5.
Yeah, this might actually not be meat blocked. I think there is a non-zero. Well, no. Yeah, based on what the meat blocked was, it is meat blocked to get into the back, and you have to go all the way around to get to that side of 5.
That's why it's playing so much larger. Yeah, that whole section there is chopped off because of the right side staircase.
Man. 5
This
is
the third time he's been in here, and it's like there's still like 6 rooms that haven't been touched.
5 is definitely playing on Ganon's side tonight.
Yeah.
All right, and there's a bomb upgrade. Thorwolf is going to like to pick it up. It's only 2.
Only 2.
But it costs as much as the candle, so that counts for something.
Good job not getting Y forced.
So close.
Be careful here.
Actually, Dunlow might dig 7. So, bow and 7 may be the best case for Dunlow.
Bow and 7, absolutely. Because Thorwolf, I don't know how quick he's going to be eager to go back to that dungeon. Knowing you've already got the Triforce, knowing 7 can be massive and very trolly. Could be a floor item you're trying to find. Enemy set, not friendly.
There's at least 1 dig dogger in a potential stair room.
That could make things a little spicy.
We like spicy.
We do. We do.
Although it depends on what kind of spicy for me. Because if it's a horseradish or like spicy mustard based spicy, that is significantly better than anything capsaicin based.
I don't know if you like shrimp cocktail, but if you like horseradish, you got it. Ever in Indianapolis, any of the main restaurants, but specialize in very spicy cocktail sauce. And there it is. This is this is go mode.
And the
for Thorwolf.
And the Triforce here is 1 room to the north, so Thorwolf is just going to grab this and go to 9.
And he could have probably saved 5 minutes had he went and got that wand before 3, but it all worked out. He didn't know it was over on the coast. But yeah, this is very, very one-sided at this point. Not that Dunlow's done anything wrong. He you know what? It's going to come back to possibly he hit that door repair 1 screen before the candle. And that slowed him down of coverage. He did the tour of Death Mountain, which really didn't produce anything. Thorwolf did get the candle and was able to quickly knock out those burn bushes in the right location, finding 1 and 3. I'm going to say that door repair really shifted this race.
I would agree, but I would argue there's also a little bit of a double whammy, because that was about the same time Thorwolf hit the 70 rupee gamble.
Yes, this is true.
And that's what got Thorwolf the money necessary to buy the candle. Because even when Thorwolf picked up the large secret, he would not have had enough, I don't think, if that 70 rupee gamble had not come in.
Yeah, I think he had. Did he have 60 rupees or 70 rupees when he gambled? I mean, it was up there. Danger Noodles. And look what we have in his room, no less.
But I do agree that the overall impact of the door repair, I think, is the larger of the two factors. Because...
Stun.
Let's see. Okay. Ganon's behaving.
Definitely the room you want to see him in. It's just so much easier, in my opinion, to stay on the full tile, knowing where he's at. He does not get stuck in the wall because of the statues in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Thorwolf has 3 chances here to potentially find the girl. Well, 4 chances. Well, not that one.
Nope. But with silver arrows, we'll be able to rip through these enemies pretty quickly. And we're looking at a potential sub 45 here for Thorwolf, which would, I think, to my knowledge, be the fastest time of week 5 so far.
Not yet. That could have told us where she was located if we had the book.
Yep. But Thorwolf's not going to go digging for a book at this point.
No. And maybe that one was the book hint. Or not the book hint, the location hint.
It could have been a book hint. I'm waiting for the hints in 9 to be customized to where, like, what are the like when you have community hints on, there's a low chance that the hint in 9 just says the something lies elsewhere and it's another item in the seed.
We had one seed earlier in the tournament that all 3 hints in 9 were replaced with muggers.
Wow.
All 3. I believe it was equations. Might have been equations and... Oh gosh. I know it was equations. I can't remember who he was racing. But all 3 were muggers.
Alright, I'm going to do some quick math in my head. Let's see. 3 and 9, 3 and 7, 3 and 5, so that's 9. Plus another 4 for 6 and 8, and another 4, so it's 13, 17. No, I think there's 17 old man rooms in total in First Quest. So, breaking out the handy-dandy calculator to do the odds on that.
And there it is. Okay, folks, get those GGs in chat as our race winner, Thorwolf, finishes with an official racetime.gg time of 42 minutes and 12 seconds.
Incredibly quick seed. Combined with just a fantastic route.
Yep. Yeah, being very persistent in that 3, and it paid off with the silvers, and being very persistent in that very trolly level 5. Excellent job, and we're going to get Thorwolf here in the booth here momentarily. Dunlo has not raised the flag. Going to play this out. And welcome to the booth, GG Thorwolf.
Thanks.
So, the seed just decided, here's 5 Triforces for 9, and oh, by the way, here's silvers, here's bow, just, you can go now.
Yeah, that was the seed. You know, here's a free any key just in case you might get stuck somewhere. The wand showed up at a certain point to make the Lionel combat better and the stupid Vyres who were annoying.
Yeah, there weren't many advantages the way it played out that Dunlo had over you. He had that one knowledge, and also, and I forgot you had not seen it on the coast. So we were curious when you were going to work in getting to the wand, and chat correctly pointed out you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I didn't know it was there. After one, I'm like, I could go and get that, but there's these 2 burn bushes in the deadwoods, and if I don't go there, I'll ignore them. And then there's level 3 with the silvers there, so I feel okay with that, even if it did take many attempts getting through that nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the record time or not, but...
Oh, no, there's been sub-40s.
Yeah,
there's it may be a record in gambling, though. You had, 70 rupees when you gambled? And hit big.
You know, I did that because the candle was 80, and I'm like, if I win and I can buy a candle, I'll go buy the candle, and that's what happened.
Well... One of the big things that made a massive difference was that Mr. Dunlo hit a door repair on the screen right before going to the candle.
Oh, gosh.
And that put Mr. Dunlow below the amount of money needed in order to get the candle.
Yeah, that could happen.
There's a minus 25. He had 88 rupees, I believe, when he put the screen before.
Yeah.
So the money went two different directions. You hit big, he lost. You got the candle, and he didn't get the candle till much later, which sent him up to Death Mountain, which is the logical play, but there was nothing up there. So
yeah, there was 8, but I didn't do any of the rest of it, so...
Yeah, both of you found 8, both of you got the Triforce out of 8, both of you said, nope, I'm good, and then you never went back.
Yeah.
Dunlow still has not been to the Deadwoods yet either.
Oh, that's bad.
Didn't get the candle till much later, and just kind of the way he routed went east and, covered most of the forest. Did find the book, which is ladder blocked in 4, so unable to pick that up.
I was a little worried about 4 because that, hadn't seen it, and I was like, if a 5 doesn't have the bow, am I going into 8 or 7, or am I doing overworld? And I probably would have gone to 8 or something.
We have no idea where 6 is, by the way.
Which is a good thing. We agree.
Shoutouts to the Rafton 2 ladder blocked.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And helpful for you, too, because that was the other thing. You had beams, I believe, and were able to kill those enemies to see what the item is into. Mr. Dunlow saw the Chevy room and was not able to clear it, so he doesn't know what's sitting in there.
Yeah. I was glad to see the item and be like, if I'm desperate for a Triforce or a raft for some reason, then I'll go back, but...
And Dunlow might also have another problem. So, Dunlow's going into 5, which is good.
Sure.
Level 5 has the bow. Here's the thing. We don't know if Dunlow is going to find level 1 or level 3 first.
Yeah.
And whichever of those two is found first is going to put Dunlow on 5 Triforce.
On the 5 tries? Yeah.
Yeah. Which means level 9 for Silvers is definitely a play that can be made.
Sure.
Although,
it always is.
Yep. Even with the knowledge of doing it.
Yeah, the way most people route, just heading west like that, I'm going to guess he will find 3 first.
I didn't. For what that's worth.
Yeah. But that also depends on if Dunlow goes to the Fairy Fountain first or not. Because the thing is, if you find 3, do you want to go to gamble? Do you want to go to gamble on 9 when level 1 exists?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know how much of the world he's cleared. If he's done all the Deadwood, Death Mountain and Forest and everything, then probably doesn't have too many spots left. So, at that point.
Honestly, I don't think we saw a ladder block to get to Zelda or Ganon, so you might just be able to go there and beat the seed ladderless.
That is very possible.
And we were convinced this 5 was enormous, the way it was playing. Just with the transport, the meat block, and you finally picked up that map. I'm like, this thing is tiny, but it made you work, right? Because you could not get to that right side.
I just didn't bomb that one wall, so that was the only way over there.
Well, to be fair, you have no reason to assume there's a bomb wall there when the game presents you with a meat block and 3 non-bomb walls in the room next to it.
Yeah, that was... I'm like, well, I guess I need to buy the meat. All right.
Also, Dunlow has had a bomb force for the past, 2 minutes, but has not found an enemy that drops an item yet to be able to collect the bomb.
Oh, no. That sucks.
He's looking at this map now without the bomb, and where am I supposed to go in here? And of course, the bomb upgrade is beyond that wall, so...
Of course.
Is he going to leave level 5, but takes a hit? No.
Easied up A, but yeah, it was tough. He carried that bomb force for a while.
You never want to see a bomb force be lost to silliness of, hey, the game just decided you're taking a hit.
Yeah, at least he's one screen away. It never feels good when you do it up in West Death Mountain and don't have an easy way to get back.
Yeah.
Well, Thurwood, congratulations with that win. You're guaranteed a spot in the brackets, so best of luck to you. in the bracket
Hey.
stages.
That means I could just be lazy now, right?
No, it just means you get to do all the meme strats in week 6. I'm gonna do reverse dungeon order with no sword.
Swordless it is. Yeah, no. The lack of the free candle kind of really puts the damper on doing a swordless.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure next seed will probably be some hour-and-a-half nightmare, as they do.
It'll be an hour-and-a-half nightmare, but still a 5 Triforce 9 somehow.
You know, when you last location silvers, that can happen.
Bonus points because the hint for the silvers and 9 will be behind the second item room.
Don't pick that up. Okay. I got nervous there. He started to head back up. Get those rooms cleared.
Dudlow was ready.
You want to get down, get your bow.
So, you definitely want to see Dunlow clear, or find 3 before 1. Because if Dunlow finds 3, finds the silvers in there, then you probably just go to 9 ladderless and make the game tell you need a ladder.
Alright.
What? Alright,
Want his money back?
I'm very confused.
All I can think is he wants his money back from the bomb upgrade.
But
I don't, but I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not
kinda
convinced
lost.
I'm not convinced the money is worth it unless he's thinking he wants to buy wood arrows.
I mean, it's easy for us because we know, right? He doesn't know where this. He may think he needs arrows and gonna head to 9. I don't know, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, it's not a ton of time suck here.
That is definitely the first time I've ever seen somebody reset out of a bow. Did not have that on my bingo card for this week.
No, that's a bit interesting, but
He's not gonna kill the main handle again.
yeah, that had to have been it. Skipping obviously the bomb upgrade.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, half a heart now on Manhandla.
And you gotta get main handle with this bomb.
Boomerang didn't take him out either, so
And now gonna pick up the
Good.
Triforce and probably go back in with full health and more bombs. Nope, gonna leave 5 for now.
know where the turtle's going, but keeping us on our toes.
Oh, there was a bomb force that Dunlow had stored off of the main handler from missing it, but getting it to roll over the bomb, which caused the bomb force to happen, and then Dunlow went to cash in on the bomb force.
Worked. It's a long walk back, but
I don't quite know what kind of math covers this. There is math involved.
if we stumped you also with math, then I think we're doing something good.
Yeah, the math is not working in my head for this.
Does not compute.
Error.txt. Tried to divide by -6.
More hits. Good job.
There we go.
Gets the bomb. And we'll see him exit 5. And for Mr. Dunlow, our hope here is he heads west to the Deadwoods.
Mine's level 3.
All right, there you go. Also, Camion saved you. We're in level 5, so 5 plus 4 for the number of bombs makes 9. Divide that by 3 for the level you need to find the arrows. Level 6 is 2 rooms away. There you go. I mean,
It works!
How did it stump you? I don't know. It's so easy. So easy.
Like, as soon as I saw the reset out of the bow to save 80 rupees, there is no level 10. So because there's no level 10, there's no way to divide by 10.
Routing wise, we are unfortunately going to see one before 3.
Which means we might not see 3 until after 9.
So it didn't go the way I thought. Didn't realize he had the bomb wall that never seems to bomb next to the open cave in the Dead Woods. So by checking that, then kind of did the natural order of going clockwise around. So we'll see. If he chooses to burn a couple bushes upon leaving, I mean, he's going to get the ladder in here, and my guess is going to world wrap right over to 9. Makes the right call. We know that room doesn't do anything.
World wrap to 9, take that over to finding out that there is no silvers in there, and you got to go somewhere else. And the world is your oyster.
The only thing that he may do, he could potentially grab that book out of 4, and that could save him. It's not going to tell him likely where it. I don't know if he has the money for the hints or if he's found all the hints, but it could kick him out of 9 a little earlier. But he's not going to know where to go if he hasn't found 3.
And the thing that concerns me is that the main ways that we saw to go into those 2 hint rooms near Ganon were to go through Ganon's room.
That's right. Yep.
So you might not be able to get. Now, sure, being Ganon blocked is a good way to know the silvers are into 9. But if there's ways around.
Yeah, the chances of him checking those 2 burn bushes, I think are pretty low, but let's hope he does elect to do that.
Even if you don't actually dig the level, knowing that it's there is important.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things with these flags that I've seen it happen a lot. It's probably happened to me as well. You get that feeling when you leave 9 without the silvers, and there's a dungeon you still haven't found yet, and you're looking at your map and you've got 24 overworld spots left. It's like, I don't know where I'm going.
And oh, by the way, all of them are just kind of like scattershot.
Exactly, because, you probably didn't have the recorder on your first path through the desert or the power bracelet up in Death Mountain. So, yeah, a lot of retracing steps to, unfortunately, get stuck in here with the Gleeok.
Hey, Gleeok is not terrible.
But sword, no wand. Don't know if he has a potion. And
He does have a potion.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you want to spend your potion in here. Versus, just dodge the fireballs. And the Gleeok heads. There's actually quite a lot you gotta dodge when you're fighting a Gleeok. Like that.
Yeah. So...
It definitely makes the fight... Thinking about this second item.
Okay, so he's going to play. We just got a notification. He's going to play it out until the 30-minute time limit. But if you all want to watch me suffer, I'm not offended if you cut stream. So 30 minutes beyond Thorwolf's 42.
Mm-hmm. Which... Given that, for time differential purposes, that is the cutoff, as Dunlow referenced, of where an FF gets put to. I do actually like this choice from Dunlow to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to play it out, see if I can make that time differential better. Because For all Dunlow knows, all you need is just a silver out of 1, and you're going to 9, and you're good.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's really hard to even look at the standings at this point to see. I know strength of schedule or Buckhold's points are come before the time differential, but I was on that site yesterday or the day before, and it seemed a lot of people all have very similar strength of schedules, but clearly that's going to start to separate out when you get all the week 5 matches in and next week as well. So good call. I support it.
Yep. Always good to see. Honestly, it's always good to see runners just go to finish out the whatchamacallit. Always try to finish out the seed.
Yeah, I think it's confidence builder as well too. Like, he knows he's gonna. Oh well, we're getting what we kind of thought might be. Well, no, he's throwing me for a loop. I was gonna do the immediate world wrap. So not sure where he's going.
Has he seen 2?
He has. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Got the 5 try 4. Oh, he's gonna get kicked out of 2 immediately. That's what we were saying before. He doesn't know.
Well, he's got the ladder now, so. But he will see the draft.
He'll see it quickly, but.
And probably just going to poke around looking for a level 3 in some of these areas near a level that he knows exists, which is the right idea, just happens to be looking at the wrong level right now.
Yeah, and good for him. He's going to get kicked out of here after killing these ropes, so.
Yep. And honestly, probably won't be too upset to see just a quick in and out of level 2. Does pick up the raft. Honestly, given that you haven't seen 3 or 6 yet, it's quite reasonable to me to say, okay, well, I haven't seen 2 dungeons. I'm just going to get this raft in case I need it for one of those 2.
Yeah, we'll see here. If he goes left here, it'd be a little more difficult to finish in at 30. If he turns right, yeah, he's going left. So,
yep.
Going to be tough. Obviously, he doesn't know this. Benefits of us watching. And I got to be honest, I think the majority of the players at this point are making the same move. You're going to 9. The only thing, again, I can't remember how far in that book was into 4. If you could duck in there and grab that before going to level 9, maybe, but chances are you may find both items in here before even finding the hints, so.
And honestly, without a recorder, it does make 4 a little bit harder to get back to because it is up near Vanilla 1, which isn't quite near anything of any interest.
Right.
The best case scenario for download is either both items quickly or Ganon blocked out of 9. Oh, this could be an item. If you're not going to get silvers, probably the best item to get right now is the red ring. With white sword as a secondary.
Yeah, and there's not many items. Yes, knowledge. We know it can't be the recorder. Could be red ring, could be boomerang, could be white sword, or the... well, I guess we do have more. Red candle or coast heart.
Yep. 2 of those will be in 9. The others will be spread amongst 6, 7, and 8. As we have seen the items
There's
out of
one hint. Yep.
As we have seen the items out of 1 through 5 at this point, as well as the white sword item, well, really all of our overall items.
Run for
go
it,
north,
past
find
Noodles.
Ganon.
Finds Ganon.
Cannot bum out of the room, as all of the doors are closed.
And gonna look for an alternate path here to potentially find those items.
There could be one here. Dunlow goes in, finds the transport. And this generally is a good idea to do in 9 if you are looking for items, is even if you don't want to go through the doors on the other side of the transport, you at least want to see where the transport takes you so that you know if you come across that room later, you don't have to clear it.
Yeah, I've altered my strategy to do that more as well, and see a lot of runners do that. The other thing too is, if you don't have the map, right, you're at least getting a better sense of where some of these rooms are in the dungeon. But more importantly, when you look at your map and see about 7 or 8 question marks, and then you start taking transports and you're going back to the rooms you skipped earlier, it's never a good feeling. So,
yeah. And there are times where it is appropriate to just skip transports and you end up bouncing around a little bit. Usually if you have Ganon down early and you're just looking for Zelda, skipping transports is a very common thing to do at that point.
yeah, if you have the map, you may do it a little differently. You know, if you get a transport to, say, the southwest quadrant, and there's only 2 rooms left there, like, it makes sense. Go clear those before taking that transport, because you don't know when you're going to be back down that area, and your item could be sitting in one of those rooms. So, but that's harder to do when you don't have the map, because you don't know that those rooms are even there.
Right. Although based on the map of 7, 9 might not be the chunkiest 9 we've seen in the tournament. There's the door to Zelda. And this could potentially be an item. Let's see. It is not. This is going to lead south of the Aquamentus room. And how you track 9 really is dependent upon what you prefer as a runner. Some folks just like to mark what the rooms are and what the stairs are. Some folks will do a mental mapping. Some folks will mark rooms, stairs, and walls to make sure they don't double bomb walls. There's a white sword. That is one of the 2 items that was identified as the best to find that isn't silvers.
Yeah, for sure. Green Tunic. I mean, I think despite all the runners can take down Ganon on Green Tunic, but always nice to cut the sword's swipes in half.
There's the second hint. Now, granted, there are 4 hints that can show up in 9, so there may not even be a silver hint anyway. The 4 hints that can be in 9 are what the quadrant that Ganon's located in, the quadrant that Zelda's located in, the quadrant that the silvers are located in, or the hint that it is elsewhere if it's not a 9, and what enemy type guards the compass, and I believe that is based on the primary enemy of the room. Ergo, if you get a hint that says, say, Wallmasters guard the compass, you could have a single Wallmaster room where the other enemies are just a whole bunch of garbage, and that can't have the compass in it.
Seems to be Keese a lot like that, and you end up seeing Keese in every room.
Dunlow has now seen all of the hints in level 9 and knows that all of them are the old man saying they just read it for the articles. But with 1 item found, it looks like Dunlow is going to elect to say, okay, I'm just going to go back to 4 and get all these hints, because the odds of me being able to get a silver cent out of here are pretty good right now. And truth be told, Dunlow's odds of getting a silver cent are actually pretty good. I also did the math on the percentage for all 3 muggers being in level 9.
Yep. What are the odds?
If I did the math correctly, it is 0.1%.
Wow.
You figure there's 17 old main rooms and 3 muggers. You have 3 out of 17 for the first times, 2 out of 16 for the second times, 1 out of 15 for the third.
Yeah, picks up the book. Yeah, I have to go back and look. I called the race, and I'm fairly certain it was Equations. I just can't remember who he played. I don't... Yeah, but I'll go back and look. All right, getting the hints here.
Fair-hearted ain't. That's good knowledge.
Needs a silver hint.
Step over the water to reach the wand. Not
Useless
great.
hint.
And last but not least... Now.
Yeah.
Well.
Too bad he didn't get the Gleeok lurks with the book. That's always a good one.
We all know
You
the
can't
best
read
hint
it unless you already had the hint with the book.
The best set of useless hints to get there would be Gleeok lurked with the book. Aquamantis away to the ladder. And then we can leave the step over the water to reach the wand hint.
Right. Yeah. Alright, so back in level 9, gonna check out what these 3 elderly men are gonna tell him.
Yep. One of them hopefully will say the silvers are elsewhere, but there's no guarantee of that.
And coming up on that 30-minute window as well, we'll see at this point. My guess is Dunlow's going to get these hints, look at his timer, and then probably assess the situation.
Yeah. Because you have 1 item in 8, 1 item in 7, a 3 that's not been found, and a 6 that hasn't been found. And here's the thing, we don't even know if 6 is accessible right now. It could just be recorder blocked.
It could be. It could be.
If 6 is recorder blocked, that means you gotta dig that out of, like, some terrible level that you don't want to dig.
Gets the Fiber Force. First hint.
The silver to kill the beast lies elsewhere.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very unfortunate, and, you know, you can look at these times. It really just came down not getting that candle, extra time in Death Mountain, and then, you know, the kind of the final straw was going the routing in the Deadwoods, like you said, Alsoa. And welcome to the booth, Mr. Dunlow. GG's.
What's up, y'all? I apologize for not grabbing that book quicker, because had I seen silver to kill the beast lies elsewhere, I would have immediately quit several minutes earlier. But yeah, so I'm guessing we probably played the seed in a different order, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. GG's, Mr. Dunlow. I got a candle real quick by gambling, of all things.
Yeah, it was kind of
the gamble game. Nice, man. I wish I had done that. I'm super jealous.
Gamble was 70 rupees. Again, that's a lot. And, you know, we were discussing earlier, Mr. Dunlow, you hit the door, repair 1 screen before the blue candle.
That was so brutal. So here's because I know y'all are watching 2 boxes, right? So here's the exact chronology. I don't know. Here's from my point of view, right? I see the 80 rupee candle. I feel like I saw it kind of early. I had 73 rupees, and then the question is, do I farm for 7 rupees, or do I check caves? I go to the screen. One of them's a potion shop right by level 8. Then the one by that has like blue whiz robes, and I have 3 hearts. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing that one. And then there's 3 subsequent door repairs. Turns out the one I bailed on was a mid-secret. So yeah, just total heartbreaker, like the exact opposite of what you want to happen. But I imagine Thurwolf also played the game better than I did. I had some dumb little combat issues and stuff, but yeah, I'm kind of curious if where the heck were those silvers? There you got to be somewhere I didn't go. Is there a level 3 I just missed in plain sight or something like that?
Well, it was your routing into the Deadwoods, and, you know, Alsoa pointed it out first, the order that you may find 1 or 3. 3 was 1 screen to the left of Vanella's screen, and then up 1. So that burn bush that always burns in both first and second quest.
Yeah.
You still had that bomb hole to check down along the open cave, so you did the clockwise motion and found 1 before 3.
Gotcha, that makes sense. And yeah, the bigger issue is I was doing all of that so ridiculously late because I having tries out of 7 and 8, buying the meat for 5 that didn't even matter. You didn't even need it for the bow. So yeah, I thought I had like half a mind to go check those bushes. I did scoot up and check level 2. I honestly, I don't watch the race room super close, so I didn't look until like 54. And I think I looked around about when I was in level, yeah, when I took the wrong turn in level 1 and died to the Gliok, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? So yeah, I mean, I'm sure, the easy thing to do is to get in here and be like, oh, I made the wrong decisions or whatever. But honestly, Thurwolf went a 42, probably smashed the thing. So absolute GG's, full respect. And that's the danger of being in the 2-2 bracket. Like that's exactly what we expected, 2-2, right? Like, and that just speaks to, I'm being facetious, but that speaks to how deep this tournament is, how good the field is, how good the community is. So I'm psyched to be a part of it, even though I'm sure on the watch back I got smoked in this thing.
I think just a lot went right. I went to all the right places, bailed on all the right things. I somehow survived the blue Landmo that tried to kill me right before Zelda. I'm not sure how that happened, but I got through that.
Nice.
Yeah, it all just kind of fell into place. I hadn't seen the wand when I got the ladder out of 1, and I had those 2 burn bushes, and I'm like, I'll go burn those, and then I'll maybe go back. I had seen the raft in 2 because I beamed the ropes when I first went in there, so I knew that wasn't kind of like relevant. And then I found 3 in the silvers, and I'm like, well, there's my 5th Triforce.
Yeah.
I think that was my 4th because I hadn't done the meat to 5 business yet, because that was my last with the bow.
Which 5 was also terrible because you needed the map that was behind the meat in order to see that there was actually a bomb wall to get to the right side. Because the way 5 started, as Mako had mentioned, it looked like it was going to be gigantic.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be gigantic, and it had that segmented vibe where, like, I know we always find an early staircase in 5, but when it's that first one, I was like, oh. And then when I went through it and they connected, I was like, what is this business going on? And then I think I might have literally not even had bombs to check if the meat block was real or not. And then probably the pro move I did was retry out of the bow. That was really dumb, but I bought a second bomb upgrade, and I was like, I need money for arrows. But then I was so trolled that I didn't even walk up to buy arrows after finding the bow. So that kind of says it all. When you retry out of the bow to save arrow money and don't buy arrows, it's just next level stuff right there. It's hard for other people to follow, but it's next level.
That's what we kind of thought, was that you were looking to get the money back from the purchase of the bomb upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. I did a sick move I made was the second time when I went back and I didn't clear the manhandler, but I stored the bomb without killing him, grabbed the Triforce, got the bomb on the overworld, then went back in for the bow. That's just like, I mean, you can't teach efficiency like that. That's the kind of stuff you have to play the game for 6 years to get those kind of killer instincts going on.
Well said, Mr. Dunlow. Well said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can create some highlight reel lowlights at least. It's always good to have fun with the thing. Honestly, just to give myself, I don't even know if I want to call it justification, but I kind of knew I was going to have to go a little contrarian in this thing. So when level 7 was available, I dug 7 instead of checking the dead woods. Like, that's so untextbook. But I guess had silver's been there and the dead woods been truly dead, and there had been a recorder somewhere dumb, and that's where other stuff was. But I was inventing a narrative. Y'all know me. I'm a words guy, not a numbers guy. So I wasn't playing the math. I was inventing a fairy tale in which that would have been a good play. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
There are definitely seeds where that narrative comes into play with how
that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. That's normally how these play out. Like, it is 7th floor item, right, that you need, or you find out that you do need the recorder and nobody knows where 6 is. That is the percentage play. It wasn't tonight, and Thurwolf, like, you had all the knowledge so quickly. And
Yeah.
that just does not happen very often. Even with 5 Triforce seeds, it's still a lot of these go well into an hour 15 because you just don't know where those items are. So, but it was very, very good, efficient. On Thorwolf's side, Mr. Dunlow, again, just that door repair really just kind of set you back, and you did the smart play. You hit the Death Mountain, right? Because you don't have Candle, but obviously there was nothing up around West Death Mountain, so a couple of extra minutes there, unfortunately. You go to the 2 and 3, so still one away from a guaranteed place in the bracket. So best of luck to you in week 6.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be whatever. I mean, I already said it. The field is deep, so I'm like, all right, cool. Brackets start a week earlier for me. Guess I gotta win next week. It's best of 1 until the Sweet 16 anyway, so it's gonna continue to be wild, fun, all of that stuff. But yeah, GG Thurwolf. I'm psyched to watch you play a completely different seed than I did when I watched this back. And thank you to all y'all on the Restream team. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you for the comms and restream tracking, fun stuff.
Sure. Thank you for putting on a
Absolutely.
great show, and thank you, Camian, for pushing all the buttons and getting the restream going for us this evening. Couldn't do it without you. And also as well, commentator partner. I don't know that we've come before. If we have, I don't remember, but it was fun. And you didn't get me too thrown off with all your math, so I appreciate that.
It may have been many years ago, and Dudlow, you did a wonderful thing by stumping me on the math front. So
Dude, that's historic then. All right, if I'm bringing brand new Alsoa unknown math to Twitch, then I'm counting this as a win. I think I'm like 2.5 and 3 now. Like, that's a win of some sort.
All right, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and say good night. There are, I believe, some other matches taking place this evening as I am trying to pull up the schedule now. Just bear with me. Today is the 12th, and we've got a match that should have just started over on Speed Gaming between Sea Falcon and Equations, a battle of 3 and 1 runners. At 11 o'clock, we've got Oz Solo and Stun on Z1 Randomizer. Also at 11 o'clock, we've got 2 4-0 runners, Truant Gamer versus Jay Coper, and that'll be on Speed Gaming too. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the matches we've got in store for you this evening. And as well, we've got a lot more Z1R in the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy this time of year, especially. And thank you all, and we will see you all again soon.